the best grooming colors for you. Yes, all natural and handcrafted. swagger, style, class, and luxury. Makeup products tailor-made for you with high quality. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury, yeah. Black, gentleman, black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, May 11th, 2024. And this is the first of a pair of post-fights because we got fights coming on a little bit later this evening. But I thought I would present you with my thoughts for the post-fight on Mccaskill versus Price. Fight just ended a moment ago where we saw Jessica Mccaskill pitting her WBA and IBO and Ring Magazine belts on the line against Lauren Price, former Olympic standout and now new welterweight champion of the world. This was set up to be a showcase for Price, and Mccaskill cooperated 100%. I am quite disappointed. You know, I've made mention in the past of being critical of Mccaskill because she hails from the Chi, you know, my hometown. And at this juncture, just getting in the ring, yes, we know it takes courage. Yes, we know that it is a warrior spirit that drives people to do this for a living, to get punched in the face. But if you are incapable or refuse to raise the level of your skill set and your abilities, when you compete on the world stage, when you compete internationally, you are going to be made to look less than. And I'm sorry to say this makes, I believe now, 3 fights in a row that I've seen Mccaskill perform subpar. And she has had some great victories in her career. She has fought some of the top names in the sport. We talk about Sandy Ryan in her last fight, Chantel Cameron in the fight before that. She's fought Candy Wyatt, Cecilia Brækhus a couple of times. She's even had a go at Katie Taylor back in December of 2017. It should be said that she is not a pushover, but I fail to see improvement in her abilities. And as the sport favors younger people, younger talent, aging fighters, and she's now 39 years old. With the experience that she has, she should have been able to deal with Price a little bit differently, and I'm very disappointed because I think it starts in the gym. Mccaskill entered this fight not showing a jab, not showing the knack of being able to protect herself with her guard up. Her hands once again were down low. Sandy Ryan exposed that, and Lauren Price, who is a boxer who has, I won't say that she has punching power, because Price is not necessarily a knockout punching fighter, but she definitely has a skill set of being a boxer, and she's a southpaw. So in her 7, now 8 victories, she has only 1 KO. Mccaskill, who again, as I've stated, has battled with the best of them. Her record now drops to 12-4 with 1 draw, 5 KOs. And in women's boxing, it's not so much about stopping the other party or getting them out of there. It's about being able to make the necessary adjustments to overcome what's happening in front of you. And immediately I felt like maybe Price's Olympic background may have been an intimidating factor for Mccaskill. And if that be true, only Mccaskill can honor and hold up that necessarily as a fact or not. But it showed the difference in their abilities. This fight ended after round 8, and round 9 began with the referee calling a halt to the action early as the bell rang to call the ring doctor over to look at Mccaskill's left eye, which was swollen shut due to a headbutt occurred. I believe it was like in the 4th round or 5th round, something like that. A clash of heads actually initiated by Mccaskill because of her style and her way of wading in, not behind a jab. A clash of heads that really, she incurred all the damage. She immediately suffered hematoma, swelling over that eye, and it didn't get any better, even though her corner had an Answell to use in between rounds. But I do believe the inexperience of the corner of how to use that Answell may have been a part of this, and maybe not. It's just there could have been real damage underneath that hematoma because of how it swelled. I mean, the clash happened, and within seconds there was a lump there. But we'll talk about it. I want to acknowledge who we got in the building here. We got a few of the family coming in, and I'll take this moment now to acknowledge you guys rolling in. Healer, the teacher, is in the building. What's going on with you, Healer? Good to see you. Salute to you as well. Mr. Shelton's out there saying, what a meeting of the minds. Okay, I don't know what that's referring to there, Mr. Shelton. You'll have to enlighten Stormy on that one. He says, no body shots at all. Yeah, she didn't work the body. She didn't work behind the jab. She used no technical proficiency whatsoever. She was just kind of coming in wildly like she did with Sandy Ryan. And Ryan boxed her to bits, as they would say from the UK. So this is the end result of that. Universal Truth is in the building saying salute Sensei, right back at you, bro. How you doing? Kano Local Sports is in the building saying salute to all. What's good with you, Kano Local? Good to see you, man. He says ever since Jessica got married, her boxing has declined. Hey, man. You know, sometimes when you carve out a place in your life for another path, maybe that's the path you should be on. When she wasn't married to this particular person, Maybe her focus was a little bit different. But what I see is a technical deficiency that is so acute that she can't beat a top fighter anymore. I don't know how you get through gym and training sessions working like what we saw in her efforts this evening and in her last couple of fights. The win that she received a decision for over Sandy Ryan should have been a loss. But the UK people are kind of smart, huh? Boxer is the promoter of this event. And I think Hearn promotes Sandy Ryan. I believe. I could be wrong. But with the Sandy Ryan fight, as you all may realize, that Sandy just beat Terry Harper for Harper's, I think, super welterweight title. No, it was the WBO welterweight title. And that fight saw Ryan become a world champion. So Hearn is her promoter. Now this fight, Mccaskill battles Price, and Price is Ben Shalom's girl. So they've got two fighters from the UK now in the same weight division, different promoters, with the world titles that Jessica McCaskill once held as an undisputed champion. Come on now, can we see what's going on here? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm just pointing it out. And you know, Stormybman doesn't like to talk about the business. I like to talk about the fights and the fighters. But my goodness, within 3 fights, they got all of this woman's belts away from her. And don't forget, she had the Ring Magazine welterweight title. So Lauren Price has that now too. Less than 10 fights. And I said this was her 8th fight. This was actually her 7th. So 7 wins, no losses, 1 KO, and now a unified titleist with the IBO, WBA, and Ring Magazine championship titles in her grasp. Lauren Price. This is where we are. Connell says, I was at that fight. Listen. I'm big on technical proficiency because when you've cultivated your skills, when you know how to jab, when you know how to throw the right, when you know how to hook, when you know the uppercut, when you know how to throw short shots, that's considered a complete arsenal. When you have a complete arsenal, the next thing to learn simultaneously actually is how to defend against each and every one of those that I spoke of. Jessica hasn't done that ever. Tonight, she was bending and dipping at the waist, turning her shoulders sideways and leaning back out of the way of shots, and then leaping in. All the while, hands are never in a defensive position to protect or to counter. Because remember, if your hand positioning is correct, you should be able to counter off of what comes at you. When she lunged in that 5th round for that head clash, she had thrown a wild left hook. She tried to follow her with her right hand and fell in head first, clashing into Lauren. Lauren is lucky that she sustained no damage, but it was all initiated by Jessica. Unfortunately. And this was something that was problematic, because when they went at the end of the 8th and beginning of the 9th to the ringside doctor, the doctor told the referee that I would stop it. And so the fight was waved off, and they went to the scorecards, and basically all 3 judges had Price winning all 8 rounds. Mccaskill only has herself to blame, because as a unified and former undisputed champion, there should have been some sense of trying to take the young upstart in Price to school. That was not on the table for Mccaskill and her camp. Dirty Chivo says she's never been super fundamentally sound, but damn did she regress in record time in her last few fights. Hey, I've been talking about it, and sometimes because I can be harsh in my criticism, it could come across like I didn't like her. No, I actually really was fond and am still fond of Jessica Mccaskill. She's from my home city. She's a beautiful young lady. She's intelligent, and she knows boxing. I've heard her in interviews speak on other fights and fighters when asked, sound questions about them. So there's a great deal of respect for her as a fighter and a person who has participated in this sport that we profess to love. However, I am a harsh critic when it comes down to the lack of the skills that are required to remain at the level of not only respectability, but at championship level. And she seemingly has lost that. That's why I said, if someone carves out another path for themselves, something like starting a family and a new direction in life, maybe promoting other fighters, training and developing and cultivating other fighters, might be the way to go, because she's accomplished a great deal. But please do not continue to put yourself in a position to be cannon fodder for these upcoming fighters. I mean, that has to cease. And if that man who professes to be her now husband and manager and trainer and all of that, if he can't see that, then he can't see the best interest of his loved one. William Old School is in the building saying, salute, Stormy. Peace, my brother, and y'all smash the like button, people, when entering the building. Just got home from work. but didn't get to see the fight. Jimmy Bernard is out there saying, what's good, Sensei? Salute to the chat. Dirty Chivo says, I like her a lot too. I agree. But these performances were some of the sloppiest I've ever seen. Oh yeah, you should have heard me when I talked about her against Chantel Cameron. I really ripped her a new one, man. Because it was exactly as I had spoken, that she looked amateurish and like she had never spent a day in the gym. Like they just dressed her up in the dressing room before the fight started and put her out there. And for someone that was considered world class, that's very difficult to receive, because you wonder now, like, how was this person considered world class? How? It's just unconscionable. Now, Lauren Price, speaking of her amateur background, Olympian and more than capable fighter that had a bright future ahead of herself. Her record in the amateurs was 49-16 with 1 KO. She won the gold. And the thing about it is, with so few fights as a professional, now being an accomplished champion, having a champion's name on her resume, she's 29. She can fight a couple of more years and find a different path for herself, because she will win more fights based on how she conducts herself in the ring. She shows the ability to box. She's strong. She's a southpaw, which is always tricky for orthodox fighters. And they can build on what she does being over there from the UK. I think she's from Newport, Wales. And there's a huge following for the sport, for the women over there. She's joining Natasha Jonas and Caroline Dubois and so many others. There's a great deal happening in the women's movement of boxing. I had said a couple of weeks ago on one of the lives, I talked about how there's a youth movement happening now. So all of these fighters who don't want to fight other fighters and don't want to test the waters on how good they truly are and everything, their era is closing fastly because they never moved to do anything. They never conducted themselves appropriately enough to be remembered. So they're going to be ushered out by this new wave of other fighters, and that's both in the men and women's division. However, the women's division of boxing has maintained a level of respectability and accomplishment that the men have seemingly forgotten how to focus on. Yeah. And so here we are. I talk about these things, but I don't try to drill it in the ground, but it's definitely something to think about. Jeff Spark is out there. He says, Stormy B Man, salute, peace to you. Geo James Khalil is in the building saying salute. Right back at you, brothers. Good to see you all. Smash the like button as you come in. Now, a battle between Sandy Ryan and Lauren Price down the road, not right away, would be great because they both won their titles, you know, just in the span of months. So maybe in the next year and a half or so, 2 years, build it up a little bit. But I don't believe we're going to see McCaskill at the top anymore unless she's just inclined to take bouts as a payday, which is unfortunate. There's a lot to be said about boxing, man, but when it goes right, it goes right. I had a feeling that Price will pull this out, but I was so pulling for McCaskill, and I've already articulated why that is. But you can't buck the momentum of how things are typically aligned from a business aspect. A tremendous changing of the guard. One fighter 39, the other fighter 29. There you go. So let it be said, let it be known that the future is in good hands with these young fighters in the women's division of boxing. Just speaking again on Sandy Ryan, her accomplishments, you know, she has the world before her as well. She's 30 years of age. When you talk about Caroline Dubois, I think Caroline is like 22 or something. She's very young. So they showed Ivana Habazin out there in the audience, and I don't think she want no part of these young ladies. She may fight them because it's a payday for her, but this youth movement is something else, man. It's something else. It's like in the NFL when you got a good running back, he can get you 9 to 100, 1,000 plus yards a year. But then you got this young guy that's coming out of college that's fresh, and he might be able to get you that, for the next 3 years, where your guy who's been getting it may be wearing down from the wear and tear, you see. So they put him on the free agent market, and then they get the new guy. Sometimes it's a roll of the dice because the new guy has to adjust to the NFL and their ways. But when you get it right, you got someone that you can keep out there on the field, like I said, again, for the next few years. tell you. The undercard fights were okay. But a few young men that some people may not be familiar with, but one in particular, because of the family name, Huey Fury. Now, Huey took on Patrick Corte, and that fight was a debacle. Huey ended up with a second round stoppage after hitting Patrick cleanly with the right hand that totally discombobulated him. And the referee jumped in there and saved him because he was separated from his senses. Now, Patrick Corte from Germany come into the bout. He's about 6'3". Huey Fury is tall like his brother, he's like 6'6". There's not a lot to look at there. But it was entertaining for those who support the Fury brand. Personally, I think they need to look deeper into Mr. Patrick Corte's, into his health, because the shot that he took, it was a good right hand, don't get me wrong, but it was his response to the right hand. He started to, it looked like his body language looked like he was going to go down, and then he kind of righted himself, but when the referee jumped in to wave it off, his eyes wasn't even fixed at the ref at all. They were kind of staring out into space or something. And I'm glad that the ref stepped in. That's one of the things I'll give these guys overseas about stoppages. They will get in there and, get a person immediate attention and look out after them in ways that you could only wish that they would do in the U.S. William Oldschool says, it reminds me of when Deuce McAllister was getting old and Reggie Bush came in and put Deuce into retirement. Yeah. Or when you had a guy like Drew Bledsoe, who was a top NFL quarterback, and they got that little young guy from Michigan. When he went down with some injuries, that little young guy from Michigan, that Tom dude, what's his name? Tom? Yeah. He came in and took over, and Drew was done. Yeah. It's funny, we still have all these people that'll come out here and check out what Stormybman is talking about, but they don't want to hit my like button or whatever. They'll come out here. Over 80 people, but I only have 18 likes. What do they come around for, man? Seriously. What do they come around for? I can't even get 30 likes out of this situation. But all those views, it's like creeps, peeping toms, huh? B-Mac, what's happening with you, brother? What's happening? Well, yeah, B-Mac, I'm waiting for tonight as well. Got to make a run to the store and get some beverages and stuff loaded up for the week. But, yeah, I just thought I'd come in here and talk about this match between Mccaskill and Price. I hope that Jessica, I hope there's no real damage to the bone or anything around that eye. Sometimes when it swells up like that, it could be some type of fracture or whatever. We hope that that's not the case, that she's just a person that will swell. But it looked real ugly, especially when they were about to give the announcement of the winner and the camera showed her face. It was like, boy, that looked really bad. Looked really bad. So I'm hoping that a quick recovery for her and a quick reconsideration for her future in boxing. So with that being said, we're going to hear a little bit from my brother, the Focus Ball, huh? My man, the Focus Ball. He was out there. You guys know him as Healer the Teacher, and he's been cooking on his channel lately. So don't forget to subscribe to the brother if you have not, huh?
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this a very simple device, a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah, better get you some of that Stormybman merchandise. We suggested that Mccaskill get her one of those focus balls, huh? But it's obvious that they didn't want to invest in that. And you see the end results of not investing in a focus ball, huh? So maybe one of your fighters that you love, you know, presently, that may need to shore up their defense a little bit, may consider receiving a focus ball as a gift for them, huh? And for you, get yourself one of them Stormybman mugs or jackets, hoodies, tees, whatever it is, support me. Yeah, that's what you got to do, huh? That's all I ask of you. A little bit of support, just a little taste, huh? Just a little bit. But we're going to be back a little bit later this evening. And after the Lomachenko versus Kambosos Jr. fight. So we'll be back with a second post-fight show. So you guys get your energies charged up and get ready for that coming up in just a couple of hours. And we'll see you then. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we'll catch you at that time.
Asking you a goddamn thing.